on sort of the underwear that's visible here, creating a texture there. Now, I feel like, as far as this illustration goes, it's really pretty much complete. The only thing that I might want to do is come in and add something maybe in the background. Now, early on I mentioned that I really kind of saw sort of a femme fatale type figure in this character, so let's go ahead and maybe apply some blood splatter to the background here. So we're going to come in here, and on our background layer that I've created, let's go ahead and come in and choose File, Place, and we're going to go for this ink splat JPEG here. Now, in the previous lesson, we actually took raster artwork and we still have it used in our opacity mask. I'm not actually going to do that. This time we're going to go ahead and live trace our raster artwork. This is actually a splatter of ink that was scanned in at a very high resolution, so we should be able to get a pretty good trace off of this. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this arrow down in our control panel and choose Tracing Options. And we can come in here and let's go ahead and just hit the preview option here. And we're going to see how this is going to trace with the default settings here. So it's looking pretty good. I don't see a lot of deformation here in the actual splatter itself. So I want to go ahead and go with these. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have the Ignore White box checked. That way that the white background will be dropped off here. We're going to hit Trace. And now we're going to come up, and with our artwork selected, we're going to go ahead and hit Expand. It's going to create anchor points and Bezier handles and basically vectors for every bit of that raster artwork. So let's go ahead and spin that around here. I'd kind of like to put this part up at the top. This tail is just a little bit awkward. So why don't we come over here with our artwork selected and maybe use our eyedropper tool to sample one of the colors that we had in her underwear here. Maybe this red. And we'll go ahead and use that. That looks pretty good. And since this layer is our backmost layer, let's go ahead and swing that over into position here. And I'm just going to kind of drop that up here in the corner. Now that this is vectors, we can resize this and scale it up however big we want to. Go ahead and just kind of nest that right up in that top left-hand corner. And let's go ahead and hold Shift and resize this, actually scaling it up to fit with the width of our document here. So that looks pretty good. I think that this is ready to be called finished. Now, when going through this process, we're not just tracing an image. This is an exercise in seeing shapes in reality. We used a photograph as reference, yes, but we were looking for shapes. So the more times you do this, the better you're going to get at this. And yes, you may be anatomy isn't your strength, but in walking through this process, you're going to get better and better at creating the human form here in vectors. Hopefully your result looks pretty similar to this. Feel free to go ahead and push this to another level and maybe put some kind of a weapon in her hand. Really make her the epitome of a femme fatale. Hope you've enjoyed this course dedicated to creating photo-inspired vector artwork. Thanks for joining us.